Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Sean, and you're along with me on the Blue Collar Daily Drive in my 2019 Mustang GT Premium with Edelbrock 2650 Stage 2 minus .5. How is everyone doing? For me, I'm doing great. It's my birthday. Feel a little bit better. The clouds parted for a few minutes, so I thought I was going to go out and drive my car while it's still running, make a little video, and head back to the house and spend the evening with the family. So as I mentioned before, I got the nerves burned in my knees. I had to do that consciously because of my heart condition. Anesthesia is reserved for emergency, so that's normally a procedure where you at least get a cocktail of Versed and other conscious sedation anesthesia, but it's quite horrific. But I feel like in the long run, it worked out better because I was able to guide him exactly where it needed to be. The crochet needles is what I call them. But fortunately, that's allowed me to do a few more things lately, and that's the goal here. Try to get where I can get moving and do as much as I can on the car myself as possible. Me and my friend put it up on Lyft, and as you may or may not know, and I'm trying to pay this forward because Mike 740 alerted me early on in buying this car that the factory didn't realize that you're supposed to put 10 quarts of oil in it and not 8. And had he not made a video and put it out that, you know, his dealership shorted him 2 quarts of oil, I wouldn't have known to look for that. And sure enough, and this is a 2019 model now, he had an 18. Sure enough, a year later, they still did it. They still did it. But because of his video, and nice to see you up and going again, Mike 740. Because of his video, I knew to look for it on the invoice, and I even had to argue with them about it. They were like, no, and realized I was new to Ford at the time, so I really didn't have the nomenclature down. No, that's, you know, track packs and performance packs. I'm like, no, Gen 3 Cody, I think they're all 10 quarts now. So then they lied and pretended like they put 10 quarts in it and only put 8 on the invoice. An absolute lie. And my car disappeared and it come back full. So anyway, this is my way to pay it forward from that. God, man, it's just nothing but beautiful around here, guys. Really need a GT350 or GT500. But anyway, squirrel. The results of checking my transmission fluid was that it was about 1.5 quarts low. And I was determined to check the transmission fluid, not only because transmission has started to act up some, but as soon as I started searching that, I started finding that. And you start seeing multiple people, then I messaged them, emailed them, sure enough. Even the ones that didn't come back into the forum and report that it was theirs was 1.5 quarts low, some as much as 2. I would say mine was probably 1 1/3 low, and I put just maybe a hair over too much in it. You know, it's not too much, but you know what would be required. So somewhere between 1 quart and 1/4 to 1.5 quarts. I say 1 1/4 quarts. The interesting thing is I was just scrolling through today and I found a chart from a forum. No, actually I think it was a Facebook post, and somebody asked, why do the 19s use more fluid than the 18s? And I thought, well, that is odd because, you know, they're both 10R80s. Why do they? You know, I just went through this, and guess what? The amount is about 1 quart. You know, not a stretch to say 1 1/4 quarts, right? So I don't know if we have different trans coolers or whatever, but obviously something was changed in the 19-year model, and they require about 1 quart more transmission fluid than the 18, and mine didn't have it in there. So that's another thing to check for, guys, especially if you're going to mod it. Now, if you're not going to mod it, you're not having no trouble out of your transmission, because it's kind of a pain in the ass. if you're not going to mod it and you're having no trouble out of your transmission and you got extended warranty, you're going to trade it in, you know, hey, maybe not. But before you put a mod on this and void your warranty, I think it's worth going through, and you got to put it on a lift. You got to have had it up to complete operating temperature. You got to have ran through your gears. You got to leave it neutral, leave the car running while you put it on the lift. The exhaust is right there. It's kind of nightmarish. It's got a 19mm cap on and the dipstick underneath it. And but anyway, my results were that I was low, like many people were seeing, and I call it placebo or not. Car seems to be driving better. Any of you that watched my last video to the end got to see that smash. That's on the new transmission fluid. And she run up in third gear and shifted at 7,414 RPM, and she shifted positive. You know, she was moving. Car's getting it, man. Just you know, I got a lot of baggage with all the failures that I've had, but boy, just every day this thing stays running. I can tell it won't take much for me to enjoy the car. So all I need is a little success. I don't need, you know, I don't need to go out and hit 9s or anything like that, but just every day I start to feel a little better about the car. And to parlay on that, I'm super excited about the test of David Van Boris's engine. And I told him that I would give him $100 toward the additional labor to do that. And I'd already sent $25 in Super Chat, and I will send him that money, the rest of that money via PayPal, because it confirmed what I had already talked to engineers all over the place, and including piston engineers and shops. And I'm putting together a video for this, but it confirmed he had a known ticker, and he had 2,000ths clearance on what would be considered as good pistons, and 4,000ths on two of his pistons. That's absolutely what the tick we're hearing coming from the oil pan. Even the 2,000ths is too loose on a 2,000ths cold is too loose on a cast piston when the bore, according to NPR, grows 5,000ths to 200 degrees. Now there'll be a lot of variables going into this. I think I was actually supposed to turn there. There'll be a lot of variables going into this. However, you know, such as, hey, maybe the pistons, you know, it's 12-to-1, it's seeing a little more heat, and it might expand more than a typical hyper-eutectic with 12% silicon content. But then the oil squirter's on the back of it trying to cool the piston down and counter that growth. It's just not possible. And when you look at 4032 pistons, which don't expand as much as 2618, but slightly more than hyper-eutectic, they're going in at 1/2 to 1.5 thousandths clearance max. That's max. 1.5 is max. He had them at 4. Well, guess what? A full race 2618 piston goes in tighter than 4,000ths on this engine. And I'll have everyone more of, I guess you would say, I'm gonna get it all together with some visual aids. But why am I so happy about this? Because it explains the bore failure. And there's such a huge jump between what I'm wanting out of the car and what you got to spend to make it solid. I don't want to pay $3,200 to send my existing core I already own off, have it sleeved for dart and interlocking sleeves, and ship back to me. I'd be $3,200 on a bare block before I've even bought a part for it. I don't want to have to do that. And now I know I don't have to. I simply need to, as I asserted before, get a piston whose thermal expansion characteristics are designed to work in the Gen 3 plasma bore. Now, I believe the best piston for that is the JE Ultra with Perfect Skirt. It has an additive similar to the Grafal, and it goes in real tight, like 1/2 thousandths. And within the first 40 minutes, that first layer comes off. And it conforms itself to the individual cylinder that it's in at operating temperature where it's going to be seeing the bulk of its lifetime. So I like basically that self-sealing design. Of course, you know, JE makes good stuff. Offset, I've been using them for 30 years. Come on. But I do feel confident now with David Van Boris's the fact that he put that much power on his car, and he was able to do it with the E85. you know, with zero detonation, because it's just, you know, these hypers can't take those detonation none. Then you put them in when they're already rattling in a bore that they're too loose for, and then you detonate them, you're really picking up the resonant vibrations and stuff, and just it's just augmenting the whole situation, exponentially increasing the problem. So I'm very happy, because that means I may even just try to hone out that one cylinder, depending on how bad it is. I could just buy, I'm looking at some pistons and I'm trying to get the bob weights right, but I may just be able to buy literally 11-to-1 JE Ultra piston that I can stack up on here and do a no rebalance rebuild on my core, and man, be out pretty cheap and have a really good piston and hold 750 on 93 all day long, which is my goal, right around that 750 range. So yeah, I'm just really excited about those results. We know that the components will hold the power. We know the rods are good for it. We know the crank's good for it. We really know the cylinder's good for it. We know the block's been strengthened in the water jacket area where the Gen 2 wasn't. We know the head's got a larger valve and opened up and flowed. And now we've got the missing piece of the puzzle, which is why we're having this flaking and scoring and plasma boring and breaking the pistons. And now we don't have to speculate, we know. And these are what the pros were telling me, but until somebody with a known tick tore down their engine and measured it, that was the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle. So now I feel totally confident going forward, even if I have to buy a new block through Summit. I think they're $875, and you know, with Summit you get free shipping, which would be nuts, you know, and then maybe even a coupon or something. So $875 through Summit. Then at worst, the Molly no balance replacement 12-to-1 pistons, pins, and rings, which I'll get for boost, or I think the lowest I found them was $817. And then do oil pump gears while I'm in there, and just put it back together with stock torque yield bolt, stock gaskets. I mean, all this shit was holding. I'm not going to be pushing 1100. I just need something that can handle detonation for the split second that it might ever be in it at the bottom of third gear. That's it. That's it. I need it to hold together for 1/2 second of detonation and not crack a ring line. Other than that, I'm not abusing the car. So I'm very excited about that, because that could have me a complete spare engine forged. I know it's good to 750, 800 wheel just all day. I mean, not even pushing it, just good. And be all in, even if I got to buy a block, be all in for about $2,000 doing it myself. And then find a spare, you know, if the transmission continues to hold, I'm gonna keep looking for like a spare A10, you know, and then get it built. And then when this one goes out, just have it on hand to swap in, and then maybe even build this one up stronger over a period of time as we continue to see what the real weak points on the transmission are. So it's all good. Everything's looking up. I mean, the car's running great. Y'all see on the videos. I am worried that is the shoe, you know, when's the shoe going to drop? When's the other shoe going to drop? You know, I hit it like that, and then the first thing I do is I go home and I pour over the logs, and, you know, I'm like, God, please don't blow up, you know? And please let me have a couple of passes, you know, a little bit of fun. Get a little test hit in here. See if we can get a little hit. Y'all knew I couldn't end the video without hitting it, right? Peace. Y'all be safe.